2022 Surveyor 252 RBLE. Starting right in the back bumper here, if you just kind of reach in, pull that cap out of there, you're going to find your sewer hose. Take note of those two ears in the adapter here. It's helping you hooking it up to your sewer system. And the hose itself, once fully extended, is about 20 feet long. Just keeping it stored in the bumper back here to help keep any sort of stench on the unit, keep things a bit fresher. Around the corner from there, as well as in each corner of the trailer, you're going to find these stabilizer jacks. All they do is they run down, contact the ground, give it another turn or so, and that'll just get rid of any sort of bounce or sway that you see on the unit right now. Keep things firm while you're out camping. As marked by this sticker here, we've got some low point drains back there. So the purpose of those is just to drain out the water lines. The reason you'd want to do that is if you're leaving the unit for a while, you just don't want your water going stale or stagnant. Or if you're getting ready to winterize the unit, you just want to drain the water out before pumping antifreeze through. Your sewer connection's also right beside that. You're going to kind of press on that cap and you can give it a turn. It'll pop on out of there. See, it's got the same ears on it that your sewer hose had. That'll attach the same way where you're just pressing it in, turning it until it kind of clicks. On the left you get a gray valve, on the right you get a black. Black valve's controlling your black tank. Black tank is filled with your toilet. The toilet's first going to be bringing down your dirtiest water, so we'll dump that first. Gray tank is controlled by, gray valve controls your gray tank. Gray tank's filled with sinks as well as your toilet, as well as your shower. Typically cleaner water, we'll dump that last to help keep that hose as clean as possible. Up from there we got a power inlet. You're going to find a little notch in the bottom corner there. It's going to line up with this notch here. Press those in together, give it a little 1/8 turn, that'll lock it down, and you get the threaded collar in the back there to really lock it down. Following the cord back, you're going to find a standard 30 amp end. Most campsites will have that. You can just plug straight on in and you're good to go. We do also provide you with a 15 amp adapter, so if you're looking to plug in at home to your standard household outlet, you got the power to do so. Cable and satellite inlet right there. Coax cables plugs in right there, fires up your TV location. Black tank flush beside it, so you may notice after time, after having gone and dumped your black tank, your monitor panel is still reading 1/3 or 2/3, whatever it may be. Typically just some debris inside of the tank hanging between the probes causing that misread, so what you're going to do is just plug your water hose into there, open up your black valve, turn on the water, and that'll just flush out that tank for you. City water connection beside it all. Your water hose plugs into there, turn on the water, help pressurize the water lines throughout the unit. Towards the front of the unit, and then we get your fresh water inlet. Pop that cap out of there. The water hose will stick into there, turn on the water, fills up the fresh water tank. The drain for that tank is straight underneath. Get that little valve back there, so just open that up, allows the tank to drain itself out. Hot water tank beside it, we're just going to open that up. All your controls for turning it on are inside the unit. Before turning it on there, you just want to hit that relief valve right there. If it were full, you'd get some water coming out. No water coming out just means it is likely empty or close to it. So you just want to make sure that's full before firing it up, just so you're not running the risk of burning out your elements. One end of your storage compartment here. Inside of here, you're going to find your water hose. Inside that water hose, you find your park adapter. So 30 amp cord into there, 15 to a standard outlet. Around front of the unit, you get a battery disconnect switch here. So you can see it pointed up, that's it currently turned on. Over to the left, that's it turned off. Battery itself is housed inside of this box right here. As long as you're plugged into that short cord in the back, your 7th inch utility vehicle, that battery's charging for you. If you loosen off those knobs and push them back, you get access to your propane tank handles. For now, I'll just pull it right off, and then we can show you that changeover in the back there as well. So it's currently red, just letting us know that we've got no propane in the system. The arrow is pointing over here, so as we open up this tank, you'll see it go green, letting us know we've now got propane. If it were to go red while that tank's open, it's just letting you know that you've no longer got any propane in there, so you're just going to turn that back off. Flip the arrow over to the other side, run off of this tank while you get the other one filled. In front's your power tongue jack. On the top is a little light switch there. You do need your battery turned on for it to work. Up is up, down is down. Leash latch on the side there as well. Other end of your storage compartment here. Flips on open. Up on the wall you're going to find a dual function light. So there's a switch on the bottom that is labeled with a 1 and a 2. The 1 is going to just be on, 2 is going to be dual function, so as soon as it senses motion it'll turn itself on automatically. Kind of in the back here, you're going to find this little kind of sink there, as well as you got your griddle up front. So those are going to be for our outside kitchen, which are just towards the rear. You do have a little step light down there. You also have a little override access to your slide out, so if your batteries were to die or if your slide out were to fail for some reason, you can still run it in and out. 2 exterior speakers out here. In between them you get your stove vent. So you may notice, propane stove is of course putting off fumes whenever you're using it, so just make sure this flap here is opened up so your fan inside can evacuate those fumes. Once you're done, just press it into place and you hear it kind of click there. That'll just prevent any dust from picking up in. Directly below that is your furnace exhaust, so if you're ever running a furnace, you just make sure it's not blocked off. It does get hot. Geopry protected outlet, as well as cable and satellite outlet. Then in the back we get your exterior kitchen. So that just flips on open. You get a magnetic latch up top. 120-volt fridge, so as long as you're plugged in, that guy's going for you. Handle right there, we're just gonna pull that straight out. Bring this bottom piece will slide over. We can flip this piece up as well. And then we'll go grab our griddle and our little sink there. So underneath the griddle here, you're gonna see 4 feet. And then just take note of the 4 holes in the space here. So 3 of your feet are gonna go right through it, and in the top right corner there, you can see it's smaller. That one is to secure the foot. So we're just gonna unscrew that foot real quick. Line up the other 3 and it'll fall into place. Then you're just gonna take that last foot, and just gonna screw it into that hole there, and that'll just lock it down. Sink fills in that hole. And then if we go back up front, we have a little box up there. This is gonna have some more of our accessories in here. So this is all of your central vac hoses. So the manual override for your slide out that I was pointing out. This is the jack for all of your stabilizers. Just sits into the end there. This is a tire pressure monitor sender. So this is basically a handheld unit that you'll keep up in your truck that will tell you what your tire pressures are doing in the trailer. This is for the back there as well. As this goes inside, stick that in my pocket for now. The remote here also goes inside. Close you want. This is the manual override for your tongue jack. It's not actually a remote, you have a different remote inside, I promise. Okay, so for the hose, that attaches right in the back here, so you're just gonna kind of run it down. Pull that quick connect collar back and attach it. And then the other end of the hose comes right underneath it all. So you get the same sort of connection here. You have that little collar there, right? We push that back and we can attach our hose. This little valve right there, with that valve opened up, you cannot undo that quick connect collar, so it's just kind of an added safety. So whenever you've got the gas turned on, you can't disconnect your hose. And then you're gonna come up to the stove here, and you're just gonna kind of rapidly turn it past light. And then once it clears all the air to the propane lines, we'll see it fire up. Get this out of here first. There we go. So it's still just clearing that bit of air out. Okay. And then for these hoses here, just attach our garden hose end there. And then right behind your awning arm, you get this little part. You're gonna pop that open. And on your quick connect here, you see those 2 little ears. It's gonna line up into the little holes there. Press it in, little 8th turn will lock into the system. And then that's your water hose tied into your water system. This is just cold water, there's no hot through it. Once you're done, just kind of press it in, you can pop it on out. Before storage, you do just kind of want to make sure it's drained out. And typically I'll just leave it stored inside of that, a little sink. Then once you let the stove all cool down and all that, you can come and close that valve. Then we can undo our collar, pull our hose out of there. I just like connecting the hose to itself, just ensures that nothing's getting inside there. Undo that back foot. And then we can store it all back away. And then to the back of the unit. just have your spare tire, a ladder so you can get up top and check your seals, and then a pre-wired mount right in the center there for your backup or rear view camera. Now making our way inside, your assist handle here just up 90 degrees and falls into place. We can open up our door. Door's on a friction hinge, so it just kind of sits wherever you leave it. Your steps, you're going to pull that handle over, flip them on out. You do have little quick latches in the back there, so I'll just pick it up again real quick. Just push that in and you can extend or retract your legs. As we come inside, first things first, right on the left there you get your fire extinguisher, so that's standard. Pull the pin, point, and shoot. Up onto the wall here you get your interior light switch, it's on the far right there. Center right, we've got your porch light. In the center is your LED light. Far left is your awning. Press and hold extend. That awning will make its way out. Once that awning is fully extended, you'll see a little black flap as well as the black and metal tube. Once you see that, you'd stop. If you were to continue extending, it can actually wind itself up backwards, in which case it'll be holding water, accelerating the growth of mold and mildew. Not quite going to make it all the way out today, but we're going to make it far enough out to show you what your tilt control is. So if it were to start raining, it's of course going to hold some water. You come to either arm, front or rear. Just pull straight down on this guy here. And you see it changes the pitch of the awning out at the head, allowing water to then run off. If you like that angle better because it does give you more shade, you can do the same thing with the arm up front. Before bringing it back in though, you just want to make sure these arms are back out straight and fully extended, just so you're not running the risk of bending them. Then you can press and hold the tract. The awning will make its way back in. Again, you're just going to watch to make sure that your fabric's over top of the tube. And then another thing to keep in mind with your awning is it does catch a lot of wind. So once you get up to about 15-20 kilometers an hour wind, you want to bring it back in again, just so you're not running the risk of bending your arms. Slide switch is center left there. Press and hold the bottom of that and your slide will make its way out. Once that slide's fully extended, we're going to hear some clicks from the motors letting us know they've reached their stall. Underneath it all is your solar charge controller. So I believe a solar panel is all hooked up and ready to go. So once your battery's installed, this will be all set up. Pretty much just allows you to monitor what your solar panel's doing. Bottle opener beside it. Top left here, you get your wine guard connect. You turn that switch on. Basically just turns on your router if it's installed. I think it's just pre-wired. Light switch right here does your bedroom light, and then into the bedroom. And blinds throughout the unit are just on these little, kind of sit where you leave them. Closet space, some drawer space. You also get your little USB outlet and a power outlet down there. Get some storage across the top here. A little reading light for each person. They're just on their own center push buttons. And kind of right in the back there, they're both identical. You can see you get the little cubbies, a little bit of a cup holder there. Pick up the foot of your bed, you do get access to a storage compartment. Inside of there you'll find a TV box. That's where you're going to find your remote, I believe. Storage on the left side, as well as down below. Another power outlet and USB outlet. Emergency exit over here, so you're pulling that tab to get rid of the screen. Take this handle here, hop outside. Wall behind me is your TV backer. You have your power outlet for it, as well as your cable and satellite outlet. And then the sliding door just has the travel latch on the side here. Thermostat's right above your light switch. Press and hold the power button to turn it on. Then you just press that power button to cycle through your modes. So right now you can see we're in fan, L for low, H for high. Just hit that fan switch. Hit mode again after fan, it'll come down into dry. It'll cut in the compressor and just try to get rid of any sort of humidity in the unit. After that it comes into cool. Now it'll start cooling down the unit. You can select your temperature with the arrows there. Select your fan speed at any point, just with the fan there. Hit mode again after cool, it'll come down into heat. You have no fan control over heat, it's just on is on. Temp selection with the arrows again. With the air conditioner going, you have basically two different options. You can have this louver here closed, in which case we'll be using all our ceiling ducting to move the air. Or you can open it up, it'll just dump all of its air into the living area here. So when you first get out to your campsite, you want that open, cool off this area as quickly as possible, and then close it off to start moving the air throughout. Once the furnace fires up, it'll be moving its air through all of our little black portals that you have throughout the unit. And then once you're done with the thermostat, you're just going to press and hold the power button, and that'll turn it off. Two little lights up here, again, just on their own center push buttons. You also get some storage at the top. The couch here does fold out. So if you pick up the base here, you can see you get these two legs that'll fold out. The whole thing will come out, the legs will fold on over there. Two back cushions will get out of the way, and then that back piece will kind of fold in to fill in the gap. Into the slide out, your dinette light there right up top, just on its own side push button. You can see you've currently got it set up as the dinette. If you're to take the table and just kind of wiggle it up and out of its table legs, the table legs will wiggle then out of their bases. The table will then sit down onto these 4 black blocks there. You'll take your back cushions, throw on the table, create your bed. Entertainment area here, so there's your TV. Get your stereo right down below it, pretty straightforward. Power button there turns it on. Power button also gets into your settings. You gotta press and hold to turn it off. Storage down below. And pretty much above our heads, we've got our smoke detector. Into the kitchen, get a little light up above. Above that, some storage. You're gonna find that binder there. The binder's got any owner's manuals, any keys. Your TV remote will be in there. The sink there, so you have the one cover. It's just plastic, so nothing hot on it. Storage down below, just being mindful of your drains and your water lines. Central vacs beside it, so your hose would just slide into there. If you're looking to change the bag, just slide that over, pulls on out, there's the bag. Power button right there. That's kind of a dustpan eliminator, so if you're sweeping up, you can just kind of sweep all your dust over here, flip it open, it'll suck up all that dust for you. Get your drawer space here as well. Return air for your furnace. Up above that, you get your stove, so the bifold cover just flips on back. Take your knob over the light, hit it with a sparker, and just as it clears the air out of the lines there. There we go. Once you're done, just turn it all off, letting it cool off. Then you bring your griddle back or your cover back down. For the oven, you're going to turn it over to that little pilot light, and then just hit it with the igniter a few times. And again, just as it clears the air out. There we go. Once you get that pilot light going, you just hold the knob in for another couple of seconds, then you can release. The flame will then hold itself. Turn up to your desired temperature and she fires right up. Once you're done, just turn it back down to the pilot light. It'll hold just the pilot light for you, but if you're traveling or leaving the unit, just want to make sure it's right off. Switch on the right side here, if you press it up, does your knobs. Press it down, does your knobs as well as the oven. Range vent above it, so you got a fan here. That's that fan that you want turned on with that flap outside opened up. You also get the little light. Microwave right above it, pretty standard, just like home. 12-volt fridge beside it all. The freezer up top, and your fridge down below. Converters right below all that. Press the top and center, it'll pop on open. All of your breakers in the middle here. Whenever a breaker breaks, it sits in the center, so just turn it off and then back on to reset it. All of your fuses are on the right side. Some storage into the bathroom back here. The light switch is just right up on the wall there. You can see just the open storage here. Toilet flips on open, flushes on the right side. G-Fire protected outlet right beside it. Test on the left, reset in the center. So if you ever have outlets that don't work, it's the first thing you should check. Little medicine cabinet here. It just flips on open. You do get this little elastic in the back there. Sits under this tongue as your travel latch. Hot and cold water course. Some more storage down below. Again, mindful of your drains and your water lines. Tank heaters here, basically just a little electric stick-on pads to the bottom of your tanks to kind of prevent them from freezing. And then your water pump switch is in the bottom right here. Water heater and electricity is in the center. Water heater and gas is on the left. Just turn that switch on, you get that little red light there once the ignition sequence starts. If that light were to come on after it's tried to fire up, it's just letting you know it hasn't. So at that point, just off, back on to reset it. Your batteries, so your monitor system's on the top, battery in the bottom there. So you can see we're currently C for charging. G would be good, F is fair, L is low. Your fresh tank, as you fill that up, will go to a third, 2/3 and full. Same idea for your black and your gray. And then in the shower, the standard head and hose, hot and cold water course. Your door slides on open, has the little latch there, kind of locks into place. Once you're done, just kind of push it and slings on back. And then lastly is just kind of your pantry space here. Closet space, pantry, whatever. And then behind the TV, just point out your little outlets here. So you have your antenna outlet there. Turning that antenna on is just a little button beside it. It turns on the little green light, letting you know it is turned on. So that's about it for this unit. If you've got any other questions on it, please feel free to give us a call, 204-237-7272.